everyone. Welcome back to Prairie Grown Reviews. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows. And today we are back for episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett, Gathering Storm. I'm pretty sure is the name of this one. You can correct me if I'm wrong
I did not
in
see
the
a title,
comments.
so
But I think that's the chapter name. And Nat, do your thing.
and that was the fastest intro we've ever done. Anyways, as usual, please subscribe and stay notified when we post. Book of Boba Fett's happening for how many episodes is this? I forget how long it is.
Seven.
So three
Seven.
more.
Okay, so we got 3 more weeks of this, and then after that, there'll be whatever else comes after that. I don't know what's coming after Book of Boba Fett, but if you subscribe, you'll know. Other than that,
We're going to have some fun content.
podcast is eventually coming back. That's on whatever podcast platform you listen to. We have a bunch of old stuff there, so give that a listen. There's like multiple different kinds of styles. So if you want to let us know which one you liked, that'd also be greatly appreciated. And as usual, written stuff is on our website, www.prairiegrownreviews.com. All right, let's get started.
Okay. Spoilers. We say this every week, but yeah, just spoilers from here on out.
Yep.
Now, quickly before we get into this episode, I do have a confession to make. Last week, if you watched our video,
Man, you had such a good
if
segue.
you watched our video last week,
You had such a good
Yes.
segue.
I got really, well, not really harsh, harsh enough on those speeders. And here's what I'm gonna say. I was reading up on stuff and watching some videos, and someone did point out that George Lucas, who created Star Wars, was very into like a 50s, 60s aesthetic, of course, growing up then. And he directed a movie called American Graffiti, which like immortalized like the 50s in that era.
Yep.
And so that type of colorful thing that might be, because Jon Favreau, who runs the show, he likes to make references and homages to George's other works as well. Like there's been Indiana Jones stuff and whatnot. So that's probably just an homage to that, which in that case, that's cool because, you know, George created Star Wars. So that's cool.
Really
They may have looked a little weird to me.
Point, Seb.
This
Yes.
is a really roundabout way of
Yeah.
saying Austin was right and I was wrong. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, okay. So yes, Austin's right. I was wrong. Okay, now continuing
Ooh,
with
that
this
felt
episode.
good.
First point I want to make. I think the
He's done
flashback,
with that.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in one thing with the flashback is that the flashbacks are supposed to convey 5 years between, because the flashback from Boba getting out of the Sarlacc pit, which we saw in episode 1,
Yep.
and him finding Fennec is 5 years later. And I just, not that I think we should have seen so much more, but I just didn't get the sense it had been 5 years, maybe a year, 2,
Yeah.
but like,
yeah,
I just
agreed.
didn't get the whole 5 years sense. It didn't feel like he changed or grown enough. It just felt like it had been a little bit of time, but it's been 5 years
Yeah.
because that's when Mando starts, is 5 years later, and that
Yep.
Fennec was
Sure.
Mando season 1. So like it just feels like I didn't get that sense, which kind of sucks. Or I kind of wish they'd maybe not gone all the way to the Fennec thing, and just like, at least in this episode, or maybe if they get a season 2, continue with those there, just because like just doesn't feel like substantial enough to represent 5 years of his life.
Yeah. I think the big thing that they're missing there is sort of an appropriate transition from what we got in episode 1 through 3 to episode 4, because there, like you said, there is a great big jump in time. We really don't have a concept as to how long the initial stuff takes. There's really no big clock in the sky there, but there's no way that took like 4.5 years.
No.
So,
There's no way, no.
and if it did, they did a terrible job of demonstrating time. So-
Yes.
And it's just missing sort of that flowing piece, sort of that thing that makes you feel like it's been not like 3 months later, right? And
'Cause
I
that
would have to-
kid
I would have
didn't
to agree
grow.
with that. No.
That kid didn't grow. So if it's years, that thing should have been. It looked like it was maybe, I don't know how Tusken Raiders age, but it looked like it was like it looked like it's at a point where it grow throughout the years. Like you
Yep.
see a noticeable difference. That
Yep.
kid didn't grow.
No.
So that can't be 4 years, 4.5 years. Like it doesn't
No. This
add up. And
This
that
is-
kind of bugged me.
this
But
sort of seals to me that we are just about done, or like totally done with the flashbacks. And it also
I think we
so-
are.
it sort
Yeah,
of
I'd agree.
makes me yeah, I don't know. It's
what were
it's
the
good-
points of the flashbacks?
Yeah.
Context, right? Or well, it's context, right? Because where did Fennec come
Maybe.
from? She came out of nowhere. Why is
Always-
Boba wearing whatever he was wearing when he saw Mando when we first saw him back in like what season 2, I think.
Season 2 of Mando. Yeah, that's where we
Yeah.
first
See,
saw
when
him. But
he showed
Fennec
up
we
in-
saw in Mando.
It does.
Yeah, no, but, like,
It's
we
nice
don't
to
know
get
what
some
happened.
origin story on Fennec and how he got his ship back and stuff.
I like
But
seeing their that too.
I think the payoff is not worth the time unless we get Tusken Raiders in the war. Or if we get like there's certain
Yeah.
things that could happen in the next 3 episodes that redeem all of this. But as of right now, it looks like we did a terrible job of managing our time through the first 4 episodes. And it doesn't seem like we spent too much time almost on the flashbacks for what they've produced so far. Right? Like that's
Right,
been a
that's
very
fair.
Yes.
big selling point of this series so far has been those flashbacks. So it kind of seems like we're running out of runway with them. And once those are gone, we're gonna have to find a way to make them relevant, or just like we.
Or
True, that's a
were
good
they
point.
relevant? That's the question.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
what?
they're just there to fill time and provide a
Like
little
Ned said,
bit
it
of
is context, but like,
I mean, if they did
Yeah,
that way, they
that's the
could have just
thing.
done all of the flashbacks within the first 3 episodes.
Exactly. That
Right,
is
they
what
could've
we're
done like
missing.
that.
exactly.
That's what we're missing right now. Why was it built
Right.
into each episode? Right?
That's true. And like he's
Yeah,
definitely
I-
fully
makes
healed
sense.
now, right? So he doesn't have to go back to the back of the tank unless he gets hurt the next like 2 episodes. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's no reason
Watch
for the
next
flashbacks
episode.
to
He
come
get
back.
hurt just so he can
Well,
hop back in
and
it.
and the bigger thing is like
He'll
Sebastian
get hurt
said,
next episode just to hop back in
but
it.
even if he hops back in, what are we gonna flash back to? Mando? Like we're running.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we're like
We're running out of
it'd
time.
basically be like
No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sebastian
we
Froese.
are at Mando. Like there's like
Yeah.
less than a year. Okay, there.
True.
There's like less than a year in between Mando season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And he in Mando season 1, we see his boots because we see him pick up Fennec. That was like a post-credit scene in episode 5 of season 1 of Mando. And then we see him episode 1 of season 2 of Mando. And then he pops in, I think, episode 5 of season 2 of Mando.
Yep.
So like there's like a little bit of time they could still explore, but it's like months.
Yep.
And like they just
Yeah, that's
squished
true.
5 years into 3 episodes of flashbacks that were probably 20 minutes each at the longest.
It might have
And
been
I'm just
longer
kind of
this week.
confused.
I couldn't tell. Not gonna lie.
It-
Could
well,
not
no,
tell
this
how long
week,
that flashback
It was a
was.
38-minute. I paused. There was 15 minutes left after the flashback ended. It was a 38-minute episode. 15
was a
minutes after.
48
the-
minute
48,
episode, wasn't it?
48-minute episode.
Oh,
Today was
48. You're right. 48. And there
It
was
just,
gonna
15
say,
didn't
minutes
man,
feel,
left.
it just didn't feel like
No.
48 this week. That was kind of
Like,
one of my big
is that a good
pieces.
thing when it comes to like pacing then? Because it didn't feel like it felt like
No,
not,
it felt
wasn't
like
bad.
it was. Like I say every week, this is my new favorite. But this time, I really did like how this one.
Recency bias.
I just liked seeing the. I liked seeing the relationship form for Fennec and Boba,
Yep.
though we still don't know. Like he saves her life. She helps him with a job. Why does she keep staying with him? Because she seems at the end of that flashback, she seems to still want to live that bounty hunter life, even though he's offering her to be like a crime lord who doesn't have to. So like,
Maybe
what
she's bored.
changes? That could
Probably,
be. She could just be
Like,
bored, but she
honestly,
seems
she's
like
like-
really loyal to Boba.
So
So
like they've been through so much together at this point. They almost got eaten alive by whatever. What's in the Sarlacc pit? I don't
That-
know what
the
monster that
Sarlacc
is.
pit. That
The
it
Sarlacc.
is the Sarlacc
well-
pit is the Sarlacc is yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, yeah, no, like they went through that ordeal together. And, like, was it travesty brings people together? I forget what the
Travesty,
saying
yep.
is. Yeah, but anyways,
Yeah.
yes, I know what you're trying to say.
They dropped
Totally.
they dropped a freaking bomb in the Sarlacc's mouth, and it just
that's a good
died.
thing the Sarlacc like ate it though, because if he didn't, they would have been dead too.
Totally.
Like,
Yes,
For sure. But
totally.
to get
Um,
back to our flashbacks and kind of the pacing of the episode, I guess the way I'm seeing this one is kind of the way the other 3 episodes have gone. Really, we got a bit of stuff done, but like if you take this episode on its own, cool, it was good. There was good context. We learned some cool stuff about our characters. The plot was all right. As its own contained being, it was okay. we're 4 episodes in, and we still have absolutely no idea what the plot of the present time.
We're
is
going to
heading
war.
towards.
That's the plot.
Sure,
Yeah,
but with
but,
who?
like,
With
We
the
have like
Pikes.
5 people. We have like
The
5 people.
Pikes.
We got to spend so much time in the
I
present
mean, there's the huts.
to make up
But
for
it's
it.
the Pikes.
The end of this episode brought up the whole,
Sure.
like, we have money, we can buy muscles. I'm guessing. I think I talked to Seb about this because at the end we heard the Mando theme. I
Yep.
confirmed this with him.
Yeah, that's
And that means
definitely
that's probably
confirming
his-
Mando's coming back.
Probably Mando's coming in, maybe a quick cameo here and there to, like, run in, shoot
Maybe he'll
someone,
come fight.
fly
That'd
out.
be cool. He won't.
I'm guessing.
but that'd
I
be
think he
cool.
would.
No, he'll
fight.
come fight. He
has
doesn't
to.
have Grogu, so he's just gonna
he's
come
probably
in.
bored
He has
right
that
now, too.
spear.
He's probably like
He's
doing
like-
crap all right now. He's probably like
That's
crying
true.
in the corner because Grogu's gone. Just like a sad
Yeah,
dad.
so he's just gonna come kill some people.
Good.
That's definitely gonna happen,
That's
and
what
that'll
I'm
be
hoping.
sweet. Also, it was nice to see
other Mandalorians
Boba.
come with them too. Then, like
Oh
Bo-Katan
yeah,
and
like
them?
Bo-Katan and
That'd be very interesting.
probably.
I don't.
That would all of a sudden make this whole show way better than it is right now.
But
I'm gonna be
is that
honest.
too high of hopes? Because I don't know
No
why
such
Boba
thing.
would
No such
come up
thing.
with
We
like
have
Bo-Katan.
No,
right?
no
Like,
such thing.
we don't
there's-
have enough. We don't have enough like concept as to what's coming next to say anything is too high hopes right now.
I
True.
s-
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's why I'm still saying like I'm shooting for the stars and saying we're gonna get Boba and Han Solo in the same damn show.
We are not
And-
getting
or-
Han
and
Solo.
Mando.
There's no way.
There's
That'd
no
be
that one.
amazing.
Sorry, so that one has
There's no
No.
way, but it'd be
no
amazing.
legs to stand on.
Nope.
No,
none there.
but no, I do really think it was cool to see in the flashback as well. We've been talking about how Boba's been like Boba Fett. He's been like way too nice. He hasn't really killed a lot of people. He was a bounty hunter. He was like,
Yep.
He killed for money, and he just hasn't been as vicious as you expected. But then in this episode, when he's taking down those bikers in his
was great.
ship
I
in Slave
love
One,
that.
he had
But
a look
that-
on his face like he was just
That was a
enjoying the
flashback, though,
killing.
wasn't it?
Yeah, but like
So,
a flashback to like
technically-
a year prior.
Yeah, but that means his
So
current
it's
self
in
isn't
him.
like that, right? Like
I
we
know,
always
I
know
just-
it's in him. That's never gonna leave.
No,
But
Not
in his
ever.
current self, at the most he did was like scare the other like families, whatever, with whatever. his
Yeah, what do you guys
friends
think
and
of the Godfather like dinner between the other crime bosses?
That was
It was
great.
good. It was good. It was a
It
good
was-
scene.
It was a good scene.
It was.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think it was kind of important to put all of like that was a very impactful scene as to seeing kind of what the rest of our characters that we've kind of only talked about
Mhm.
are like and sort of putting a demeanor to each one of them. And of course we get another cool Star Wars language, which is always a bonus, right? So
That's fair.
but
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I thought that was a good introduction of the crime bosses and just kind of it showed where they stand and how they're really just gonna take a back seat because they don't want to get in the middle of this crap. But
Nope.
and
I mean, who would?
I mean,
right? It's not-
exactly, that's
not them.
true. They just profit off whoever's actually sitting on that throne.
Yep.
That's
Until
just
much,
what they
yeah.
care about.
until the Pikes try to take them over, they are content to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Fair enough. yeah.
What do you guys? There was the I don't know how pertinent this is towards the rest of the series, but I did want to bring it up. The Chrysanthemum Wookiee versus I can't remember the species, but apparently the species he was like beating up on and the guy he
Troglodytes.
ripped the arm off of, that species is the one who yeah.
Something like that.
That's the one who something like that. That's the species who enslaved his kind. They enslaved the Wookiees for the gladiator
Ah.
ring apparently.
Mm,
And so that's why
he's
he wasn't just beating him up. Like they were annoying him, but then they were also that species. Apparently, I saw that in an explained video. So,
cool.
but
Oh,
a
the
Star
arm
Wars
getting ripped
explained
off
video.
was a
But
great scene. Love that. That was great. Just
yeah,
and then
well,
he
that's a
drops the
complete
money.
callback to Han Solo.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he drops. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's Han Solo saying that Chewbacca will rip your arms off for losing a game. So this guy had much more anger in him than Chewie ever has. So
Yep.
I could see him just ripping tons of people's arms off.
Totally.
If this show wasn't made by Disney, he'd probably rip the head off too.
He'd probably
but-
eat the head off.
Yeah.
He'd probably eat the head off. Yeah, that's a good point. But no, I think it was interesting how Boba he convinced him to work for him, and I think we'll see that continue. He'll be part of his hired muscle because he's big, he's muscular. He can definitely help out in that sense.
Yep.
But yeah, that's kind of the big highlights from this episode. Comedy highlight for me was the droids in the kitchen. That was just funny. That was a funny scene,
Man,
but like
that was
there's nothing to go off
unfortunate.
at.
The little droid running around.
Turns himself off straight up. He's like,
He's just like, screw this crap. I don't get paid enough.
They don't get paid at all, probably.
They get like, yeah, they
Nope, to
have
do
little
their
like
job.
inhibitor thing.
They're a droid, right? Like
They're a
that's what
droid. Their purpose is to serve a master.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. No, but do you have anything else to say about this week's episode, boys?
We covered all the big
Predictions
things,
for next
honestly.
week?
Nope, we're not doing that.
Other
because
than
No flashback.
Mando's coming in and he's gonna kick some people.
No flashback.
That's a good prediction, honestly. I think we won't see any flashback. I think we could see one more
yeah.
flashback, but it's got to be like, I think it could be
know.
like Boba gets knocked out. He dreams of something that motivates him. You know, stereotypical like
Power of friendship
motivational
moment.
speech.
Oh my goodness.
Not power of friendship, but just like a motivational thing.
Nah, it's gonna be him remembering the Tusken Raiders, all of a sudden just like flashing each
The
one
warrior
individually.
Tusken Raider.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it'll be like a memorial with the "I Will Remember You" song. You know that "I Will Remember," but with the Tusken Raiders all flashing.
Oh,
He'll
boy.
just be like knocked out thinking of that. Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't know, but
So on things that will never happen
could-
because that song is like copyrighted to who knows where. and-
copyrighted
Well,
as
Disney's-
heck.
Disney's got
probably
all the
use
money in
that.
the world.
That's also
Disney
true.
could buy it,
But anyways, besides
but that's the
point, that
most
doesn't fit with
un-Star Wars thing to
Yep,
ever
exactly.
un-Star Wars. So
So they should do it just because it's funny and it would like simply
Yeah,
break the whole
exactly.
show.
See,
break
the
everything.
only thing that breaks my brain for next week is because we got the Mando theme song right at the end. I'm assuming that he'll be in that episode earlier rather than later.
Me too.
Yeah. hmm
They
Are,
teased
are
it.
we gonna go
heavily.
to war right away?
Well,
Otherwise, we're getting
but
some
like we
Mando
talked about
dialogue.
last week, we said a war doesn't mean one battle. A war could be a lot of like guerrilla warfare battles in the cities of in the like streets of Mos Espa, on the desert, and so it could be the start of the war. And at the start, he wants to start off with a bang with all these. I heard a rumor or a theory today that maybe he's hiring a bunch of old bounty hunters, ones
Could
we've
be.
seen across all Star Wars. So he just got these hired muscle, and they're just like, you know, kicking ass and taking names,
Could be.
Interesting. Could
The
be.
only,
So, like,
the
they're
only
just, like,
thing is,
beating down on the pikes.
do you think Mando is coming in and then leaving?
Yes, I don't think they can keep him for 3 episodes because they need, or at least they need to, maybe not. Maybe he does stay for 3 because I mean Boba Fett was basically in the rest of Mando season 2 after he got put into that, so he could stay. But the other thing is they've got to set up where Mando season 3 is going because that's in development right now and is going to, and I think it started filming because it's next Christmas. So they've got to kind of set up where that's going. And I'd assume it has to do with finding Grogu again, or at least reconnecting with Grogu. Not that Mando's going to go looking for him a ton because he's giving him a space, but he'll probably reunite with him in some way. And then also taking Mandalore back as the planet because now he's tasked with that. But I think it could be 1 episode. That's what I assumed. But you're right; it could be more than 1.
Yeah.
They could just keep him for the rest of the
Guess
season.
we'll see.
It would be,
We'll
it would
see,
be
exactly.
very, very un-Mando to just hop into a battle and then like a third of the way through just leave, especially when Fennec and Boba Fett helped out quite a bit.
Yeah, they were helpful
Right?
to him.
Right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It will be. Well, I think that is all from us here this week, folks. Thank you for watching. Like Nat said, subscribe, hit that bell, and hit that like button so to help us with the algorithm. And from everyone here at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you guys next week.